Never in my life did I think I'd say this, but Arsenal might actually win the Champions League. You might not believe me, but hear me out. Arsenal winning the UCL isn't nearly as crazy as it sounds. Firstly, they have always been known as the Bottlers or second place FC, and it's basically true even though Arsenal fans won't like to hear this. Every season they're leading and then they go back to being second place behind City or Liverpool. City mostly. Arsenal has had it rough, one bottle after another. But the curse is finally over, even if it's just for this one season, since you all know Carrick is leading United to the title next season. But coming back to Arsenal, they have finally won the Premier League after 22 years. The biggest mental barrier hanging over them has finally been broken. When teams finally achieve something after so many ups and downs, they usually carry on with that momentum, getting knocked out of FA Cup and EFL Cup right before the final moments of this PL title race must have been shit. But after this, I don't think anyone can match the confidence boost they have gotten for the future. So as of now, I think they have the best mentality of all teams. PSG won the UCL last season and I don't think they'll have the same drive this season as well. I mean, I know they're going for the back-to-back UCL record, but I don't think that compares to Arsenal's motivation to get their first ever title. The last time they got this close was against Barca in 2006, which the red card went for them. So the hunger is very real. Then there's the second reason. This might genuinely be Arsenal's best chance for a long time. Football changes quickly and Mourinho is coming to Madrid. Bayern will only get better. Manchester United is looking like they'll rise again and we can ignore City since Pep is leaving. And obviously PSG will always be there again next season. A lot of teams recently have been in a rebuilding phase like Madrid and Barcelona, Chelsea and Liverpool, which has made the competition comparatively easy. But this won't be there for long. This window is bound to be small, and I do think that next season will become a lot more competitive for everyone. Right now, Arsenal have one of the strongest teams they've had in decades. Saka, Rice, Odegaard, Saliba, Victor Gyökeres, and Arteta. Everything is basically lined up for success, and if they don't do it now, who knows when the next opportunity comes around. But this is where things start getting weird. Think about football over the last couple of years, and Crystal Palace finally won a major trophy after hundreds of years. Tottenham actually ended their streak. PSG won their first ever Champions League. Liverpool broke Manchester City's dominance, and Arsenal finally ended their own Premier League drought right after Liverpool as well. I think football is entering a new era, and the same clubs won't be winning everything anymore. New names are being added to the list of champions, and if that's the trend, then Arsenal winning the Champions League fits perfectly. Now let's talk about PSG. If PSG wins again, they'll become back-to-back Champions League winners. That's something very few clubs have ever managed to do, and in the modern era, only Madrid has done it. Dominance creates legends, but what keeps football interesting is actually the new winners. Then there's also the controversy factor. In this whole Champions League campaign, fans have pointed to questionable decisions in following both Arsenal and PSG. We've all seen that. Every season, supporters argue about referees, VAR, penalties, red cards, and all of that. I don't know if you believe that or not, but it always fuels the idea that football has a script. And if there is a script right now, then Arsenal winning seems to make the most sense to me. Then there's Thierry Henry, one of Arsenal's greatest legends. He came so close to bringing European glory to Arsenal, and now he's going to be presenting the Champions League trophy to Arsenal or PSG. It depends on the outcome of the match, but according to sources, he's the one who will present the trophy. Imagine Arsenal winning the first Champions League trophy, and the one presenting it to them is Thierry Henry. And finally, there's Cristiano Ronaldo. And midway through the season, Ronaldo said that Arsenal could win the Premier League in an interview with Piers Morgan. Everyone laughed at him, but Arsenal went on to do exactly that. They won the Premier League this season. Maybe it's just blind faith, but I do think they're going to win the Champions League. And would I bet money on it? No, not really. Mainly because I'm broke. But when you look at the coincidences, it doesn't feel that strange to me. Obviously, there's also the tactical part to it. I'm not a great coach or anything. I don't understand tactics that well, but I do know that PSG is very devastating when the games become chaotic. And Arsenal's job is very simple. They have to control the transitions, win the second balls, and slow the tempo when possible because Arsenal is very good at that. They're a very defensive team, and we all know we call that haram ball, but it is what it is. They're very defensive, and they can actually slow PSG down. So those were my thoughts. Comment down below what you think.